Welcome to Beyond the Press Releases with Rob Anson, CEO and founder of FOBI AI, trades in Canada, stock symbol FOBI, and for friends in the S, FOBIF. Normally I do a bit of an intro here to catch up everybody, but the fact of the matter is we've got 7 press releases to talk about, all meaningful, so there's no need. We'll do away with the intros. First of all, with the pleasantries. Rob, how are you? Welcome back, my friend.
Yeah, it's been a while, George.
Well, people have been asking for this, but they should know you've been super busy, right? That we've tried to connect a couple of times. I'm not putting on you. It's just good news that you've actually tried, said, hey, George, no, let's push to next week. We're doing this. I've got that. And that's what's happening. Before we go into the details of the 7 press releases, which are awesome, we're going to do a highlight reel of each one and factor that into how that plays your development. How well are things going at FOBI? Markets aside, stock markets, equity, global markets aside, how well things going at FOBI?
Good. Well, like I said to you before, earlier, we can't control any of the external factors and where the market's at and that, but what we can control is our effort and focus and execution and keeping the nose to the grindstone, as they say. And that's exactly what we've done. We've been pretty quiet, I would say. Hence why we haven't connected in a few months, I think it is now. But
well worth it, because just give you a little room to breathe.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, we have a lot on our agenda to kind of execute on here over the remaining 5-6 months or whatever it is to the end of the year. And we look to capitalize on this downturn, I would say, where we are in the markets. But I'm also very optimistic as well, as I think we're starting to see the market sentiment change based on a lot of the reach outs that I've had lately from different investors and institutions looking for information about our company. And we're getting some pretty good exposure as a result of some of the projects I'm sure we'll talk about here from some of our partners and media and stuff. So it's been a very busy time for us. There's been a lot of change within the organization and the focus as well. But no, things are going very well.
In the last 2 months, you've delivered some pretty meaningful, real business press releases, announcements, and developments. Would it be fair to say that things continue to accelerate, and the second half of 2022, would you expect it to bring even bigger announcements, potentially bigger names?
Yeah, I mean, for us, like I said, we're very focused on kind of the roadmap. Our shift now from heavy-centric engineering towards digital media and sales and revenue. We've got the table set. We've got amazing, obviously, IP and products that have been validated on many different levels here. Now it's just the long, narrow approach and focus, and continue to execute on the opportunities. Our pipeline is always quite full. The downfall of some of that, of course, is a lot of these very large projects take a great deal of time. But we found, going back, say 6 months ago, we found great balance. We've got the small SMB opportunities, which quick turns into revenue and contracts for us. We've got kind of the mid-level, I would say, with a lot of the projects that TELUS has been working and then selling for us and executing on. And then we've also got the home runs, as they say, and there's a few of those that are going to be very interesting here as they come to fruition for us. And there's a lot of growth for the company outside of North America, in Europe and APAC and that. But I think, as we said, I think the exciting part for me, George, quite honestly, is not just, I'm always about third-party validation, like you always talk about too, but when you look at time and relevancy in the world and markets where the technology and not just digital transformation, of course, but necessity and evolution, we've put a great deal of focus here over the last several months into our loyalty platform that I'm guessing we'll talk about. But for us, it's always about enhancing experiences, enhancing processes, and automation. And that was kind of the driver of the business from day one. And it's pretty great to see where we're headed.
And that wasn't always the easiest thing to people to understand, because wallet technology and all that is pretty new to everybody, let alone all the things you just talked about that have to happen in order for it to become successful. But now you're starting to put out the kind of news. So let's get to it. The kind of news, and I want to talk about the significance of each of these, that proves that, man, you guys were way ahead of this, and for good reason, because it's exploding.
Well, it was. I mean, I've had numerous emails over the last kind of few years here as to why this, why that. We didn't do these on, I didn't make some of these decisions on a whim. Of course, obviously, I'm involved in conversations at various different levels, and the writing was on the wall. And for us, I'm a big believer in mobile digital first, and that's where the world has gone. I think where we're very well positioned is we're a data first company. At the end of the day, it's always reverts back to the data, and really for us, George, I think a great deal of kind of the challenge, and still, quite honestly, is education. We put a great deal of effort into webinars, WebExes with various partners for Qples and 8112 and all of that, which is launching here next month. There's some great pilots underway now, but as these things come to market, we're one of the front runners there. So it's been always about forward-looking processes and thoughts, and creating interoperability amongst all of our platforms, which we've now done through the various acquisitions. And we're in a very strong position moving into calendar Q3 for you.
And more than just talk, so let's get to it. Quantitatively first, for example, back in June 14th, you put out an update where paying customers for Pass Credit by FOBI grew from 43%, from 119 to 170, and revenue grew even faster at 48%. So quantitatively, you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk. But what I found really interesting in that update was the insurance companies. And the headline was, Pass Credit by FOBI is now servicing 4 of the top 10 global insurance companies. And then on July 7th, which is almost a month later, you sign an agreement with Manubia to provide integrated digital insurance solution to the Caribbean and Latin America. So as a result, it seems like you've issued tens of millions of insurance passes worldwide. Is that where it's at? Let's talk about.
I think it's the biggest thing. We talk about reduction of carbon footprint, of course, great, paper, plastic, all these things. That's a big focus for a lot of these organizations. But at the end of the day, George, it's just about user experience. To be able to have everything, your credentials, contact, verification. With Manubia, it's integrated into the judicial system. It's integrated to the police, of course, and the EMS for roadside emergency assistance and whatnot as well. So once again, it's about interoperability and user experience. And this is where, this is very slow moving adoption predominantly in these spaces, but we're seeing great, tremendous uplift and uptick here in the insurance vertical. There's other verticals, such as banking and financial institutions that now are looking to embrace the mobile digital first approach as well. And we're obviously leveraging the fact of the matter, as you said, that we have 4 of the largest global insurance companies.
What does that say? What does that say about your capabilities? You've been talking a long time about your capabilities. Some doubt out there where people say, oh, Rob is just, blowing hot air. And here you are at 4 of the top 10 global insurance companies, tens of millions of insurance passes worldwide. Now Manubia for the Caribbean, Latin American. From a credibility point of view, is there any doubt in FOBI's abilities now?
No, and what it does, George, it makes it very easy, because it's not hey, this is a great, nice to have or great idea. No, it's the reality. When you can speak to, and we provide the testimonials of these companies, there's nothing left to be said. It's already tried, it's already proven. It makes the sales cycle now obviously that much easier.
And in that same press release, talk about the validation of Checkpoint, because the Oscars, the deployments with the Oscars, with the NASDAQ, which has led to significant deployments in Europe I don't know if we've got them all or not, but one of them was Monaco, the Monaco Formula E. So now it seems like it's going really, FOBI's going really global.
Yeah, like I said, with it, we've got a WebEx to talk about with Janum next week to talk about the Oscars, and that digital credential ticketing element of it. And once again, it's what we can do with the wallets, this interoperability that we can provide from credential access, entry, ticketing, messaging, of course. These are the things that are getting me excited, because you've got an enabling technology that you can leverage based on customer need. And when we walk into meetings now, it's what is the end goal or wish for you to provide from an experience standpoint. Then we can provide a workflow that substantiates that vision and goal. So it's very easy now for us to be able to paint that picture, as they say. And now with the use cases that we do have under our belt and validation, makes it just that much easier once again.
And reading between the lines, you and Janum wouldn't be putting out this webinar on July 28th, which is going to basically go over, how everything went with the Oscars. If you weren't, I mean, I have not seen it, but I'm just going to assume you got to read between the lines that you guys are incredibly happy and incredibly confident with how well it went, that you want to show this to the world.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we released the use case from the event that spoke to all of the efficiencies and end results and execution, and the testimony from Bev Kite, the CIO for the Oscars. That doesn't go out unless we did a bang up job. And that was kind of a very interesting point for us to work with, obviously, the Apple team on site for support as well. That was a fantastic event. We look at the world of access and entry is a huge opportunity for us, and we're seeing that now with checkpoint deployments.
But the beauty is your tech stack. It's not just access and entry. It says you can tie it into engagement activity, which I think is what makes FOBI so unique, right? You're not just.
I had a shareholder last week tell me we should change our name and symbol to chameleon, and it kind of laughed, but it is. We have great agility, and like I said, but one of the key things I would say, George, now and working on the last few months here, with kind of reshifting focus and direction, it's now, we went extremely wide in the early days. Now we've found some of the penetration, traction, momentum points that are enabling us to focus and go very long. We're doubling down on those, and we're seeing some great success.
And on that note, a press release you put on June 21st that I don't think a lot of people really understood the magnitude of. This is Yatbo, which is a unicorn with a $1.4 billion valuation, raised $200 million, $30 million that came from Shopify.
Yeah.
And you guys partnered on a loyalty and marketing program. Talk to us a little more about how, because they've got over 300,000 customers.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the mechanics of how that's going to work and why shareholders should be really excited about that news.
Well, it came as a result of our integration that we have with Shopify. When we start to look at, once again, it's all about data, George, right? So when we look at this opportunity here and the deployments that we've begun already with them, a huge opportunity for us. Loyalty has been one of my targets and goals for the last couple of years. We were kind of waiting for a lot of the different functionality and stuff and design to be implemented. And now, we look at what we're doing, not just there with Yatbo, but other loyalty providers, and now launching our own loyalty, of course, is, we are the chameleon of loyalty that can sit across all the different verticals and industries, whether it's online or in store, and bridge those gaps as well. So it's a big opportunity for us, and it's something that I've been very, very excited about.
And what I love about it is it's a unicorn reaching out to potential unicorn at the end of the day. But it really means a lot when a company is growing that fast,
Yeah.
They don't make missteps. What if you can summarize? Obviously Yatbo loves you guys, but what was the driving factor to them selecting FOBI?
Well, once again, it's about data interoperability, real-time data, providing the points to the SKUs and whatnot, the basket data. When you start to look at the conversions, I would say, George, of the ability of we have to attribute behaviors and purchases from the online e-commerce world to the physical brick and mortar world. There's a lot of things that we're about to unleash with loyalty. That'll be very interesting. 8112 will play a big part of that as well, as we are fully integrated with the Coupon Bureau to enable digital promotions and coupons. This is going to be a big year for the world of digital.
And last question about Yatbo. They got 300,000 customers. What do you expect? I'm not asking for projection or like that, but what should shareholders expect as a reasonable uptake? 1%, 2% over time, 5%. I have no idea. What would be the activations that you expect?
I have no idea either. So it's something that I'm not going to tell you 1%, 50%. I have no idea. Well, I do know we've had tremendous interest. We've got clients already lined up and going. So for us, like we said, it's another rod in the water, as they say, that's producing. And we look at this as all accumulation as we go and move forward. We continue to focus and execute on our strategy. We're always moving in the right direction. We're getting stronger each and every week that goes by. And for us, this is just another example of the versatility and agility and value, quite honestly, to be recognized by one of the largest loyalty providers.
I'm going to add in, is it safe to assume, just a yes or no, is it safe to assume that if I'm a customer of Yatbo and Yatbo is telling me, here's our wallet pass solution that's going to make, so much simpler to monitor and manage your loyalty, uptake should be pretty good because they're probably pretty loyal to Yatbo.
Well, it's much like too in the bricks and mortar space that we're doing here with Barnett Technologies. It's predominantly, a utilization of a cell phone number, a plastic card. That's all old school stuff. We're replacing all of that, right? The world's gone digital. We're leading this charge in the regulated industries. And when I look at as I said earlier, loyalty, this has been on my radar and agenda for over 2 years.
Yeah, you called it. Even though a lot of us were, believed it, we believed in your vision, but it was very hard for us to really wrap our minds around it. And we're watching it happen as we speak. And you bring up Barnett, and I'm sure everyone realizes we don't run a script here. We have an idea of what we want to talk about, but you brought Barnett, but that's what I want to talk about next. There was a press release on June 27th. That was the obvious one. Then another one, July 14th. I don't know if people picked up the connection, but June 27th, you announced that with Barnett, you partnered to deliver Bevy Pass to Barnett's 500 plus liquor, retail, and hospitality customer base. As a standalone, that's awesome from a business prospects point of view, and also again from a third-party validation. But then you put out that price on July 14th. FOBI launches digital loyalty and member card programs for cannabis retailers. So what's the connection? If you read deeply, not you, I'm talking about the people at home. The power and benefit of FOBI's integration to the Barnett point of sale system now enables retailers like Eggs Canada to push out personalized targeted promotion. So it's amazing how a lot of this, not only are you stacking your technology, but you're really stacking your solutions from one industry right into another, just like that.
Well, like I said, it's about the versatility and agility of how we've designed and architected our solutions. And more importantly, it's where the world's at. It's about digital transformation. Majority of the verticals out there, other than e-com, are severely antiquated. They've been stuck in the same business model forever. So we're transforming and providing the next evolution of user experience, of course, for the shopper, but more importantly for the back-end operation, the real-time data capabilities of which we possess and provide are game-changing when we start to look at profitability and the overall operations for the retailer as well.
And do you have, is it still early? I know it was just 3 weeks ago, so it might be early, but what's your take on Barnett's customer base and what the uptake might be there and how that's going? And I know it's probably early, they're introducing it, but any sense of adoption?
No, it's been fantastic. I mean, I've been overwhelmed and quite surprised by the response. And Barnett is this group here is extremely innovative. They have the largest span in Western Canada for liquor retail, which is the most valuable for the brand manufacturers because they have very little insight to the independent retail of liquor, beverage, and on-prem. So once again, as I said earlier, it always goes back to the data, and there's your hint for the day.
What does it do? Last question for you, because there was a press release yesterday about the digital marketing agency, but you might be short time, so I want to fill one question first, and if you have time, let me know to ask that. But what does this do for your pipeline when the world sees Yatbo, Barnett, Academy, webcast, the cannabis retailers solution? What does that do for the number of phone calls that just start coming in, and how you have to start parsing out and triaging which are you at that? Are you still at that stage? You're still triaging which opportunities to take?
To some degree, yes, I would say. As I said, to go along with our focus, we don't need more shiny balls. We need just to now continue to focus on going long and narrow and deep, as I said. But the beauty here, George, is our ability to onboard. Now that we have all these integrations fully complete in our systems, I mean, we can literally onboard in the same day. So for a lot of this here now, this has really been about our automation design and the process of which now we run our systems is very, very efficient. And it gives us the ability to scale very, very quickly.
Yeah, and clearly I don't want to say the industry, because this is not an industry. You're going after multiple verticals. And the impressive thing here is that you're announcing successes from multiple verticals in a time, by the way, where the world economy, forget about the stock markets, where the world economy is going through some consternation, and yet you've got this much activity going on. So, does that bode well for the rest of 2022? I know we kind of touched on it, but now
it
kind of laid out,
George. But it's kind of like I said earlier. I mean, I've always said it's about automation. Right now, I don't care what industry it is. It's one of the biggest pain points that I get asked about every day. Right? We don't have enough resources. We don't have enough people to run this. And that's why we launched the digital agency. We've gone a big shift here in the last quarter with shifting the resources, reducing our burn rate by over 50% because we've completed all these integrations. We've seen the shift. The tools that have been put in place, and they did a great job of building as to where we needed to get to scale. And now it'll be about the managed services, platform as a service, and direct sales. Of course, working with our channel reseller partners has been very, very successful to date. But a lot of what we're doing now is driving internally the sales organization.
Yeah, so some of those problems facing companies around the world are actually in your favor.
100% they are, because
you don't have the time.
Yeah, not only do they want to implement what we have because it's on their agenda, we're helping them. We're doing the heavy lifting, which we're getting paid a very high margin for. So, like I said, it's not just the nice to have; it's the must have, and we're facilitating that to happen.
It's July 21st. We'll end the interview there, but for the comfort of everybody at home, do you think you're going to be on with me a couple more times before the end of the summer? We're going to be back to our normal pace? Something to look forward to?
Yeah, I hope to. Like I said, we've been pretty quiet for many reasons, but I think as things are, the market sentiment's definitely, I think, changing. I think there's, like I said, there's a lot of people recognizing what we are doing and where we're headed. And like I said, I think over the next year here, people will finally begin to realize what they've invested into and what we have.
And I can't even wait to see what happens after 8112 comes out and that goes mainstream. But we'll save that for a later conversation. But Rob, as always, man, thanks for joining us. Your time is that jammed. That's why we haven't been able to get on here, but that's good news. And you can see the number of news releases you put out, and that wouldn't include, I know as a business guy, the pipeline you're probably talking to and the proposals and things you're working on. So just the fact that you're able to take out time like this to talk to everybody, much appreciated. See you on the webinar next week. For everybody at home, make sure you sign up for that webinar next week, the Oscars review with Jan M, to see even more. I think that's a great due diligence thing for everybody. Plus, it's July 28th, and what do we all do in the middle of the summer? So it's a great use of time. Rob, great to see you. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks for having me, and I hope everyone has a safe and enjoys their summer.
To everybody at home, thanks for joining us. Have a great day. I think we'll see you soon. See you next time. Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and then leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel so you don't ever miss another great Agoracom small cap video.